Hey, Doc. I need to make another appointment.
Not again. Wait, don't tell me.
That's right. It's another Sonic game.
Are you serious?
Okay, the last time I played a Sonic game, I had some intense therapy and trauma. But Sonic Mania had me looking up at the bright side of the franchise. Mainly because Sonic Team wasn't involved this time around. Instead, it was developed by Pago Dosset Games and Headcanon. I don't know how to say that. What else is new? The game goes back to the days that most Sonic fans rave about, which is better known as the 2D Sonic era. Sonic Mania takes a nice mix of new levels and old favorites and combine them into a short little 2D platformer, presumably hoping to put the franchise back in good light. Now I'll admit, I've only ever played Sonic the Hedgehog, like the very original, so I'm not exactly an expert at 2D games by any stretch. So if I'm terrible at this game or miss something, well, it's probably because I didn't know it existed. The game really doesn't give you much to go on here. There's a little opening and closing scene in the game, but nothing that can really be called cutscenes. It is definitely a throwback to the older style games. The story goes something like this. Eggman sends some super strong robots to what I'm assuming is Angel Island, and steals a fancy gem just as Sonic and Tails arrive. Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles are sent through different dimensions trying to pursue Eggman. Simple, basic, to the point, very effective for a 2D scroller. Especially the way Sonic games have been going lately, it's probably better to have a little rather than too much in this department. The old-timey cutscenes are pretty cool to look at, and they took me back to my Sonic Underground days. You know, the Sonic TV show before Sonic X? Oh, who am I kidding? Most people watching this have no clue what I'm talking about. Moving on. Sonic Mania goes back to the Genesis days of 2D Sonic games. You get 3 characters to play with, Sonic by himself, Sonic along with Tails, and Knuckles by himself. Each of the characters played unique from each other, but even playing by yourself, I see no reason as to why you would want to play with anybody but Sonic and Tails. Tails can fly around and help carry you around the level, although for a limited time. Sonic by himself plays pretty much the same without Tails, and Knuckles has the flying ability along with climbing walls, but he just doesn't seem as polished. Something about playing Knuckles just felt off. When he lands, he loses all momentum and just stops. It feels unnatural, and it's kind of annoying. Sonic Mania provides a lot of different routes as you're running through each of the levels, but with that, things can get very confusing. Going from right to left, then left to right can be difficult to tell if you are just retracing your steps or progressing through the level. The game mechanics play very smoothly for the most part, running at high speeds, using your spin dash, and jumping from platform to platform. But deaths in the game seem so random at times, especially with spikes. Sometimes it's one-hit kills even when you have rings, and other times you just get hit like normal. Along with that, the crush kills in the game are just brutal. It's like one pixel of your character gets hit and you're dead. For a 2D game, the boss fights are actually quite good. You have different bosses, each with a unique style to fight. They all felt very refreshing, and the different mechanics used in each fight kept them feeling unique. Running through each level, you might stumble upon a gold ring as well, and that'll transport you to the Blue Sphere bonus stage. Wow, that is a tough one. Blue Sphere bonus stage. Blue Sphere bonus stage. Oh, okay, I just zoned out. So you get to the Blue Sphere's bonus stage, and you do a little race. You run around the track, you collect rings, you collect the spheres, and you try to hunt down the little robot that's carrying the Chaos Emerald. It's a fun little minigame to break up the flow, but honestly, it's not the end of the world whether you like it or not. Sonic Mania is a sprite-based game, obviously, and for that style of game, it looks great. All the levels look colorful and detailed, and the game comes with a bunch of the classic music tracks like Green Hill Zone and Chemical Plant. That being said, I personally would have been much happier with a more updated style. I get what they were trying to do. They wanted to make a 2D Sonic game right down to the last pixel-based sprite, but really, I would have liked to see them with the art style of Sonic Generations. I think it would have looked amazing. For what the game is though, the art style and sprites do fit it well, and it's 100% has that old-timey 1990s feel to it. There are 12 acts in the game broken up into 2 zones, giving you a grand total of 24 levels. Aside from just playing through the game normally, you can collect the 7 Chaos Emeralds as well, along with beating the game with the different characters. But other than that, there really isn't a completion bonus kicking around that I know of. But the game is only $25 on the eShop or PSN, so for that price, the game becomes much more appealing. I don't know why, but whenever I hear people talk about how bad new Sonic games are and how good they were in the old days, I had way higher expectations than what were probably reasonable for this game. But it is still a very good game. I guess I was expecting a legendary status though. Apparently 2/3 of the game is levels from the previous Sonic games, and the other third are brand new levels. I have no clue which are which, minus stuff like Green Hill Zone, so for me they were all kind of new, but for veterans it might not be the greatest experience. For those that have clawed their eyes out with the new 3D Sonic games of late, this is certainly a nice change, and by far a better designed game, making it much more enjoyable. Speaking of enjoyable, did you enjoy this video? Did you hate it? Did you click on it by mistake and skip to the end? Well, if you answered yes to any of those things, then make sure to hit that like button, along with the subscribe button, so that you can hear more ramblings every week. Until then, I'll talk to you guys. Really? I just botched the ending. One word. Talk to you later, guys. That's it. Wow. I am just a mess today. Later, guys.